What's up, you guys? It's 2Bricks, and today I'm bringing you a new addition to my Micro Fleet series in the form of the Stinger Mantis from Jedi Fallen Order, which is an excellent new video game that has just recently come out for consoles. And I highly suggest that you play the game, and I will not be doing any spoilers for the game story or anything like that in this video, because I think it's a fantastic experience, and if you're a Star Wars fan, you should definitely play it. But today we're going to be taking a look at the microscale version of the ship, which is going to be fitting in with the rest of my fleet. I'm giving you this nice low angle of it because this is pretty much mostly how you see it in the game, and I just wanted to give you guys kind of a game character's eye view of it before we do the usual more top-down look at it like I do with my other ships. So if you guys are interested in taking a look at how I achieved this particular design, which has some very tricky, intricate moving parts and things to it, stay tuned, because that's what we're going to take a look at right now. All right, you guys, so here is the Mantis. It's actually, Stinger is the class of ship that it is, and Mantis is its name, so it's kind of a little bit confusing that way because people are referring to it as the Stinger Mantis or the Mantis. Anywho, I believe that is what it's supposed to be. So yeah, this is a luxury yacht which serves as kind of the hero ship for your characters and your little kind of found family in the game. And you explore the galaxy through with this guy, and you jump into hyperspace and you can go inside the ship, and it's pretty rad. I think as far as I'm aware, the only sections of the ship in the game that are actually accessible are right through here. I don't believe you can go past the engine assemblies, but I could be wrong about that. It's sort of tricky to tell. But like with this guy, the Razor Crest, Lucasfilm hasn't gotten around to giving us a official kind of size stat regarding this yet, and so I had to do a lot of guesswork to try to figure out how big this ship would be in comparison to the rest of my fleet scale, which definitely hurts me in my soul because I love to know the exact scale of things, particularly with this series, because I'm really striving to create kind of an accurate depiction of every single Star Wars ship. But this is such a cool ship, and I played the game a whole bunch, and I just felt like I wanted to share it with you guys, so I did my best guesswork. And basically what I did is I walked my character up and down the sides of the ship and tried to kind of visualize in my mind how many feet or meters it would be. It's pretty tricky, but this is kind of what I came up with. We can compare it to a few other well-known ships in the Star Wars galaxy and get kind of a sense of what, you know, of what overall it is. I actually do get the feeling that this might be just a little bit oversized when I compare it to something like the Ghost, which has, like, you know, the crew compartment down here in the front for the cockpit. I think that's about the actual size, but then there's like 4 crew compartments in here, sleeping quarters, and then a galley back here. I don't know, it's tricky. If I'm correct that in the game you can only go back as far as where the engine kind of rotation mechanism begins, and this is the only part of the ship you can actually access, then yes, I think that lines up pretty well. But if I'm incorrect about that, then I'm probably way off. But regardless, the Mantis is, they talk about in the kind of behind the scenes of the game, the real world influence of this ship is kind of a sailboat, because it's a luxury yacht. And so you have kind of this big sail at the top, and the whole bottom of the ship is kind of bow-shaped. It looks a lot like you know, sailboat, which is really, really cool, I think. And it makes for a really unique Star Wars ship. I think probably the best Star Wars ships we've ever gotten are ones that have a lot of real-world inspiration, and so they just feel more real that way. But probably the coolest thing about the ship is that it has this really wacky transformative feature to it, where the engine strut comes down. Well, first of all, you fold up the landing gear, so let me show you guys how that works. So you fold up the landing gear. In the game, this would kind of tuck away entirely, and so if you want to do that, you know, you just would remove these sections. But then this wing folds down under here, and that kind of gives you the flight configuration. But then also the entire body swivels around, and so you can swivel this whole wing and go into a horizontal position, and then this part, you know, is independent, so it can just kind of go all over the place, all like that, which is really crazy. I don't think we've ever seen anything like that in Star Wars before, and figuring out how to do this part was really, really tricky, because you have to know exactly what's going to rotate where, from which point, and where it's going to be attached, and how it's all going to link up. So I'm really, really proud of how that turned out. And yeah, that was definitely challenge number one. Technically, the front and back sections of the ship can swivel independently of each other because there's an axle that runs through the whole thing, or not an axle, but a bar attached to several Technic pins that gives the whole thing the friction that it needs to hold together in whatever shape. But as a result of that, the back section can be swiveled independently, which, you know, in the game, obviously, it's just the wings rotate around the body. The back section of the ship is fixed in place. So yeah, that's that. And then, of course, you have this gigantic wing on the top where the color scheme is really difficult to replicate. I went for the standard, you know, you can change the color scheme throughout the game. You can earn unlockables to make your ship look different. I just went for the kind of canon base look of it, I guess. And I think that looks really good anyway. So then there's that. And then up at the front here, you can see the inverted slopes for the cockpit area. And then a couple of cannons in here, which come in handy in the game a couple of times. And then this area right here, there's kind of a cut-in section where the ramp will extend down for the characters to board the ship. And then all of the landing gear for the ship sits way back here. And then so the front section is all supported on this, you know, on this really, really small profile back here. So it's a very interesting balancing act. And I think having this giant wing and then all of this out here kind of it kind of makes it seem like the center of gravity would be here in the center of the ship, so it makes sense. And you know, in the real world model, it actually does sit perfectly fine on those legs. So yeah, I guess it worked out great. There's a lot of nice greebly details on the top here, and what I think is a skylight window through here. Whenever you change the color scheme of the ship, this part remains intact or unchanged, and I feel like it's a window, but I'm not 100% certain about that. And then yeah, so the kind of flowing lines from the front to the back, this blue that kind of has this really nice unbroken look that goes right the way through the center of the ship, I think looks really, really nice. And then just capturing this very unique boat hull wedge shape on the bottom here was really, really tricky, but I'm super happy with how that all turned out. Let me just give you guys a quick look at the back section here of what I actually did. So I have a modified, or a 1x1 Technic brick in there, which accepts this pin. And then in the front here, that's a little bit tricky. I have this kind of intricate pin assembly in here, where this is a 6-long bar that has one of those little notches on it. So I had to peel a lot of that off to show you guys, but essentially the little notch sits on the other side of this Technic brick and then feeds into this modified 1x1 brick with a stud in it, and that just holds the whole thing in place. And then so this is what all of the sail and wing swivels around, and then essentially you're attaching this to the other side. So the actual wing part, you have these modified plates, which are super useful with the Technic pinhole in them. And then so you have 2 sections that attach into the wing, and then the central section here, which attaches to the engine strut. And then what's really cool is that with the configuration that I have it in, you either get a 90-degree angle or 180-degree angle, which are the only 2 angles that you can actually achieve in the game as well. And that just works out really perfectly just because of the shape of the parts and the configuration. So that's how that was done. All right, you guys, so there is the Mantis Stinger class luxury yacht. I think it's an absolutely wonderful design and a really good choice for the hero ship of this game. And definitely kudos to Respawn Games for the effort that they put in to giving us a really, really authentic Star Wars experience and giving us a really cool new ship to add to the canon. So yeah, really great job, Respawn. And EA too. I guess EA deserves credit. You know, usually they're much maligned by the game community, but in this case, they really delivered. So congrats all around. So that's pretty much as far as this ship, all there is to really see. And I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at it. Along with, I'm kind of going back through all of my microscale fleet series and really all of my models that I've been showing you guys, and trying to do instructions for as many of them as possible. And this will be no exception. I'm going to try to get instructions for this out fairly quickly because I know people are playing this game right now and excited by it. So I will definitely be trying to get that to you guys ASAP, so those of you who are interested can build your own. All right, you guys, so thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. If you're enjoying the Fleet series so far, leave that thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Any comments that you guys have, I love to read them, and that really helps the channel metrics and all that good stuff as well. You guys know how YouTube works, right? The more you engage, the better. So yeah, much appreciated on that front. And if you guys just stay tuned, I'm going to be announcing my next mid-scale to kind of larger scale build pretty soon. Many of you guys know I just got done recently with the Millennium Falcon, and I'm currently working on my Ultimate Collector series Serenity, which is getting some serious design updates. So yeah, stay tuned. Lots of exciting announcements are on the way soon. So thank you guys again so much for the support. I hope you love playing Jedi Fallen Order. It's a really fantastic game, and I definitely enjoyed 100%ing it myself. And so I'll see you guys on the next video, and may the Force be with you.